Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Cryptids on Cryptids podcast. I'm Martin.
I'm Sid.
And, what have we got today, Sid?
So, okay. Today, we have a boy that I did a tremendous amount of research on.
Okay, like, how much is a tremendous amount?
Like, a lot. Like, a lot.
Okay.
Like, probably, if I had to give, like, a rough estimate, I'd say I put 15 hours of research into this.
Holy shit.
15 to 20, yeah.
Wow.
Of complete research, yeah. This was a lot. Because this week, we have the Green Knight.
The Green Knight. Okay, so this is... I know this. This is folklore. This is from the Arthurian myths.
Yes.
And I love him.
Okay. I respect him, but given the fact that I had to read the actual, like, Arthurian myths, like, I had to go into my school's folklore archives and pull these suckers out and actually read them.
Oh?
Yeah. Yeah. That's where we went.
The OG?
I read the actual, like, the closest translations that we have.
The sacred text.
I read the sacred text, and like, can I just have a quick moment to dunk on Arthurian myths? I have the utmost respect for people who enjoy them.
Oh,
but
there's a lot to dunk on.
It's basically the Marvel universe for fucking mythology nerds.
Yeah.
Everyone has bonkers long names. Nothing makes any sense unless you've read every single piece of media that was ever created during this time period.
Yeah, and all the different media is, like, by different authors, so it's all basically just, like, fan fiction based on, like, the original texts and, like, the original, like, spoken word lore. And it's just, like, this whole mess of just, like, a bunch of people being like, here's my take on it.
Yeah, and all of their takes are bad. All of them.
Yeah.
No one ever had a good take.
All of them are bad, and all of them are horny, and that's just it. That's just...
I noticed that.
Yes.
I didn't want to say anything, so thanks for bringing it up. But it's so horny.
There's a lot about it.
And I don't even understand why. Like...
Sexual repression with the rise of the Catholic Church, probably?
Probably that. But, like... all due respect, it reads like someone wrote a romance novel and then was told at the very last second that it was supposed to be an adventure novel before publishing, so they went over and, like, hastily covered all the erotica with, like, just absolutely jacked knights, so you have these weirdly intimate descriptions of, like, rippling muscles and things like that, which...
Yeah.
No judgment, England. But there's only so many ways I can listen to you describe a man's rippling thigh muscles without getting deeply uncomfortable.
Well, here's the trick, Sid. They were all just a little bit gay.
It's like the entire thing is, like, vaguely homoerotic. All of it.
I mean, like, yeah. There's a lot of subtext in sword fights. Let's just put it that way.
Oh no. That's like so far out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so what specifically... We're talking about the Green Knight, so what's...
The Green Knight.
Specifically, let's dive in.
Okay.
We're not here to cover all the horniness and all the mess. We're not getting into Lancelot, because that's a fucking trip.
Who?
Lancelot's a fucking trip.
That needs 2 episodes
Minimum.
And one of them is just completely horny. Like...
Which we are not doing. We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So are you looking for, like, a description of the lad?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay.
So where we
I
always
think the
start.
first thing I have to mention is he's just jacked.
Jacked.
Like,
yeah,
every Arthurian knight is just ripped to all get out.
I
but,
mean,
like...
you gotta be to be a knight, right? Because, like, all the armor is so heavy, and, like, it's a lot. Actually, swords are not that heavy.
Swords aren't that heavy. Armor sucks, though.
Armor's bad,
As
though.
someone... As someone who, like, has fought with actual, like, armor on, like, proper medieval armor...
Chainmail or plate?
Plate.
Shit.
Yeah. It sucked. It was so hot out. And I was wearing plate, and then I had a helmet, and there was also padding underneath the plate.
Gotta have the padding, otherwise the metal's
sweat
real harsh on your skin.
Like a dog. I sweat like a dog. It was so bad. I think the thing that was the worst about it was the shoes, but...
Shoes? God.
They don't make them... I have very small feet, fun fact.
Were
they don't
just
make them in
gigantic?
my size.
Were you just
so
pretty much wearing, like, medieval clown shoes?
Yeah. Like, straight up. They made them the smallest size they had in them, because I was borrowing the armor of someone who's roughly my body type, but wears a men's size 8. For context, I wear a women's size 4.
I see, there's like a conversion metric that's there that I just don't understand.
My men's size doesn't exist.
Cool.
I wear boys sizing if I get men's shoes. It's like a boy's 12 or 13, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, tiny. I got small feet. It doesn't make any sense, because I'm, like, of average height. I'm not short.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, I would be dwarfed by any knight from this time period, I think.
Was the Green Knight just, like, real tall, too? Was he just tall and jacked?
Straight up. Like, full-on Green Giant levels of, like... Yeah, he actually did have green... Okay. Whether or not he had green skin varies on myth to myth, as far as, like, who wrote it, from what place, like... But he's always dressed in green, which is why he's called the Green Knight.
Yeah.
But, like, the strong things that go over is he's tall. Absolute... Just, like... More ripped than the average knight from this time.
An
period.
absolute tree of a man.
Just built like a barrel. Like a whole barrel of a human. And, like, I'd say Jolly Green Giant, but he's, like, always out for blood, so I can't really, like...
I like the menacing Green Giant. Let's...
Yeah. Like, Hagrid build, but if, like, Hagrid actively wanted you dead. Like, if Hagrid fought the animals that he cared for in the woods.
It's like Hagrid build, but if he had, like, a two-handed greatsword and he's coming at you.
Yeah. Specifically you. He does have the vibes of a dude who would, like, get in a fight at a bar and just throw a stool for no reason.
Well, there's a reason.
Just because he can?
The drama, Sid.
Oh, that's valid.
Completely valid. Just, it's the drama of it.
Like, it is the drama. You can read all Arthurian myths and with, like, the same energy. It's just gay theater kid drama. It's all it is.
You know what? Yeah. That makes sense.
It's just like if somebody gave every theater kid in your high school a sword and was just like, hey,
look, not even just the gay ones. If you just gave every theater kid a sword.
Yeah, just every theater kid a sword. Because, like...
Yeah, that seems about the right levels of, like, horny and botulism and violence.
Yeah. Like, if you made every high school theater kid of age to just do shit, gave them weapons, and were just like, go get them, and did not tell them where.
Yeah, just
like,
unleash them into the woods for a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah. Just figure it out.
That's your new Arthurian myth. That's how to do it.
Don't actually release theater kids into the woods with swords. That's not their natural environment, and they will become an invasive species. Like,
yeah.
they'll displace all, like, the cross-country kids just because theater kids are winning in a fight against cross-country kids. You know that.
Cross-country kids are a bunch of nerds.
The theater kids would win in a fight. They have nothing to lose. Like...
Yeah. People that, like, run... What are you doing? Guys, what are you doing?
Running.
Guys, just lay down. I take a nap. Fucking chill. Holy shit.
What
are you running from?
Like, what do cross-country kids know that we don't? Like...
If it's... Are they, like, cross-country? They're, like, country? You know, God country? Maybe it's the fear of God. That's why they're running.
Cross-country kids running because of the fear of God. Like, that's another thing I feel like I want to bring up really quick for the Arthurian mythos, as we mentioned fear of God.
Yeah.
There's no, like there's religious imagery, yeah. But there's just so much witchcraft. Yeah, there's just so much witchcraft.
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't it, like, part of the, like, mythos of the Green Knight that he's, like, druidic? I know that's true of, like, Merlin, right? Like, he's druidic.
Well, it's sort of like an allegory in a way, so the Green Knight is often used to sort of represent the will of nature itself.
Yeah, as are druids in general in this kind of, like, you know...
In this area.
In this context. Like, or text. Just text, not context, just text.
Text. Because, like, I guess part of me has a very, like, I have a very tainted image of druids just because I play D&D.
Yeah.
And so when I think of druid, I think of the actual druid from the party I DM for, who's just an automaton. So I'm a little broken. But, and, like, we have pictures of the Green Knight, but they're very medieval in nature, so they're not, like, flattering.
No.
Or, like, all that, like...
There's a lot going on.
Representation of what a person looks like.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but they didn't really have a grasp of, like, proportions.
Yeah.
I didn't figure that out till the Renaissance, like...
They were drawing animals with human faces, and, like, that's choice. That's choice.
You know what? I'll give you points for creativity.
Please stop drawing front-facing horses. I don't know why you think they look like that.
It's so good. Have you ever seen, like, medieval paintings of cats?
Yeah.
That's, like, some of my favorite things to just look up. Because, like, either it's, like, this amorphous blob, or it's just, like, a ball with eyes. And it's so good.
That do just be how cats are, though.
You know what?
That is just how cats are.
Yeah, valid.
Part of me wonders if the reason why they draw cats like that is because a lot of medieval paintings were done, like, still lifes. Like, they'd whack out an easel and then draw it as it sat there. A cat is not gonna sit for your painting.
Yeah, I guess.
So they just drew, like, a cat in motion. Just, like, it's like camera blur, but, like, with painting.
Yeah, they just, like, whipped it out and just, like, threw paint on the canvas, and they're like, did we get it? Fuck, no. A lot of medieval art I like to describe as, like, it's someone who has seen a cat once in their life describing a cat to a person who has never once seen a cat. And they do this for everything, people included. The artists are just, like, locked in a dark room, and they're like, well, it's tall, it's got two legs and a face, and they're like, fuck it, okay, it's a man. It's like, no.
It's like, it does just remind me of how a crime scene sketch is done.
Yeah, they kind of just, like, you know, they wing it.
Yeah. They were given a very, very loose description of what this person looks like, sort of told to figure it out. And they're not even painting with, like, paint brush. Like, they had paint brushes, but it was, like, the little bit they could get from a horse, you know? And they're sort of just
your
figuring
paint
it
kit
out.
is like some berries, like a fucking
Yeah.
nail you found in your backyard, a blade of grass, and a tuft of your own hair, and it's like, all right, now paint a cat. What the fuck is a cat? Well, paint a horse. I've only seen a horse from the front.
I saw a horse from the front once, and then it kicked me immediately, and now I don't remember.
Oh, dang, it got my paint in hand. I guess it's just gonna be a blob with a human face.
Like, they didn't even have mirrors. I don't know what they were using as a reference photo. Like, you don't have reference photos. You just have to hope.
Yeah, you just look at something
God.
and you hope you got it, you know?
You hope you got it. Oh, God. So I think that gives a good image of how the Green Knight works, and also a good insight on how, like, the retelling of stories in this time period works.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
there's a theory that, like, the reason that we have unicorns and stuff like that is because, like, someone told another person... It's like a game of telephone, but they're talking about a rhino, and then they're like, whoa, it's got 4 legs, and it's got a horn. They're like, must be a horse.
Damn.
Must just be a horse with a cool horn on its face.
Because, like, you have to consider the type of animals that lived in areas, too. Because, like, someone from England has only seen, like, deer and horses and things like that. So when you say it's got 4 legs and it's got a horn, it's probably not a cat. So they're like, all right, that's a horse with a horn. And to be fair, a horse with a horn is not that far of a jump from, like, real animals that actually exist.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like a game of telephone, but you're talking about a rhino. And so, like, the first person's like, it's like a fucking jacked ass horse and it's got a horn on its face. That's all I got, man. You know?
I mean, like, that was a real thing. That's why we think Cyclopses, why people thought Cyclopses exist, because
they found
baby elephant skulls just have the hole in them. So they were like, oh, just a Cyclops. And fun fact, like, prehistoric bear skeletons are eerily similar to human skeletons. So the theory for demigods, for Athens, for these very, like, rational, Athens and Rome and, like, all of these fairly rational societies, was that they found a bear skeleton after hearing these legends of demigods and being like, shit, they actually existed and they were 8 feet tall. I don't make the rules. And so there are bear skeletons.
Found a skeleton. Look, there's proof.
They, like, dressed up and buried these bear skeletons in, like, wealth and riches and weapons and things. And so you have, like, current day archaeologists finding these bear skeletons in, like, gilded graves and being like, hey, what the fuck?
This bear is from the Corinthian period? I know bears probably didn't exist in the Corinthian period. Don't fucking at me.
I know a bit about folklore, but if you ask me time periods, I'm very bad. I know locations.
I don't even know if Corinthian is a period.
Shh, I'm pretty sure it's a Bible book, actually.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I might have been thinking of Cambrian, but hey, what up?
I think you were thinking of Cambrian. Corinthian.
Corinthians. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fuck, we're like 20 minutes into this episode and we don't even know this fucker's name.
Well, okay. It's a bit hard because he's got different ones.
Okay.
Which is why I keep calling him the Green Knight.
Yeah. The Green Knight is very general.
Let's get into specifics.
Yeah, let's get into
I have 3
this
stories
history.
I'm gonna tell you.
Cool.
Alright? So
Love
the first
stories.
one is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. So this is a very rough and smoothed over version for the listening of our audience who does not want to hear me read my rough translation of Old English.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to see it. It's not in these notes for a reason.
Yeah, if you're really interested, go look it up. It's worth the time. Like, I literally had like a book of like Arthurian myths that I just like read when I was a kid, because I was a nerd like that.
I enjoyed reading them, but as somebody who knows very, very little about I'm gonna call it the Arthurverse. Fuck it, the Arthurverse. It's not where I would start.
Yes.
I would not start on the Green Knight myths. I would start at some of the more larger myths and then get into this. Because half of the reason this is as funny as it is because you know the backstory of the bullshit Gawain has pulled.
Gawain's done a lot of shit.
Gawain's done a lot of shit. He's a bit of an asshole.
He's a party animal.
He is a party animal. He took a vow of chastity, though, so he's not that much of a party animal.
Look, doesn't mean he can't still drink and...
He does.
And party and, juggle swords or whatever they did for entertainment back then.
Murder people, apparently.
Yeah, no, murder was pretty high on the list of entertainment.
Murder people. So, that's actually deadass what happens. This is what happens.
Okay.
So, in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, the Green Knight appears before Arthur in his court during a Christmas feast with holly in one hand and a whole-ass axe in the other. And he basically just introduces himself to the feast. He's like, hello, I'm not here for war, but I still want to throw down. Mm-hmm. And so he turns to the court and he's basically like, someone can strike me, but I get to do the same to them next year. And so Gawain, being the smartass he is, goes, sure, and just lops the knight's head clean off. The knight proceeds to grab his own head and say... basically just says, I'll see you next year, Gawain, at the Green Chapel.
Good luck.
At the New Year. Good luck. And just leaves, like, with his head in his hands, like, his physically removed head.
Well, see,
like,
the
he's
thing
been
was,
beheaded.
he just ducked into his armor real quick.
Where'd he get the prop head? Where'd it come from? Oh, are you saying
yeah,
he,
it's
like,
just the helmet.
Sleepy Hollowed it?
Yeah. He just put his head in his shirt.
I hope so, but there's like a fair amount of like blood imagery here too, so
oh no.
Like,
wait, is it green?
It does get... Well, he has green skin here. He's a massive green giant.
Does he have green blood though?
He has red blood.
I was hoping for like a more badass Christmas origin, like where did the colors red and green come from?
From this specific fight.
He's got holly.
And this is, I think the main part of this is a Christmas feast. Like, this is an armistice period. This is when a lot of people would, like, go spend time with family, or, like, this is a jovial time period. And he shows up, and he's like, I'm not here for war, but, like, I still want to throw down. And they just went with it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, it's a party. We're all fucking hammered. Let's have a sword fight.
Let's just do this. And so, like, Gawain can't... He gave his word, so he has to go to the Green Chapel and like do this thing. So he departs for the Green Chapel, and on his travel there, he's hosted by this dude named, God help me, Bertilac de Hot Desert, which does just sound like a Wizard 101 randomly generated name.
It also is just like, damn, that guy's hot like a desert.
It's spelled like hot couture, Haute. Yeah. So, for brevity's sake, I'm calling this dude Bert.
Not Bertilac?
We could do Bertilac, but saying Bert and Gawain is very funny to me. So
Bert and Wayne.
Bert and Wayne. So Bertilac hosts Gawain. And so during this hosting period, he puts him through all these trials to test, like, his loyalty to King Arthur and his chastity. This is a common thing that happens, where, like, a knight will go somewhere, and then people will, like, send their wives to go seduce the knights. I don't know why this is such a common thread, but it is.
Hey, Sid, let's not kink shame.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. God! Every time we do one of these episodes, I'm forced to confront things I didn't want to.
Look, all I'm saying is we're a very accepting podcast.
We are a very accepting podcast. stop sending your wives to go seduce knights that have taken a vow of chastity. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Let's stop doing that.
Stop doing that. I don't...
Can we all just universally agree? Stop doing that.
Stop doing that. It's not like... It's just a weird thing to do, Chief. They said they took a vow that says they don't do that. So, like, he sends his wife to go seduce Gawain, and then he puts him through all these trials. I'm not going to go into details on the trials, because they don't make any sense unless you are fully informed on the Arthurverse, TM.
Copyright pending.
Copyright pending. It's basically like a standard thing where they try to see if this person is truly loyal to the person they serve. Knight's trials and things like that.
Yeah.
So, fast forward to New Year's Day.
He just asks him, like, hey, what's Arthur's birthday? Like...
They ask him all of Arthur's, like, his birthday, his mother's maiden name, and who is his elementary school teacher.
Now it sounds like the Green Knight's just trying to fucking scam Arthur.
Well...
Can I get the last 4 digits of his social?
Yeah. This Bertilic's out here trying to finesse his way into the king's purse.
Well, actually, the last 4 digits are 0001, because King Arthur actually invented the social security number. Little known fact.
Of fucking King Arthur in line at the DMV.
Yeah.
Being like, sir, I'm just gonna need your social security number. And he's like, yeah, 1. Like...
Yeah, it was actually, back then it was called, the DHPV, which is the Department of Horse-Powered Vehicles.
Good God. You have fucking...
Also where horsepower came from.
Feudal lord insurance. You can get your swords insured for just a few grain a month. How do you apply at the Department of Horse-Powered Vehicles? Like, do you reckon the lines are just as long, or are they longer?
You have to register your horse.
Sure.
Yeah, and so, you know, that was done. That's why they looked in the horse's mouth when you buy a horse. That's its registration numbers in there.
You have to put your hand in the terrifying hell beast's mouth.
Just open up those gums. Let me read those off your teeth.
Good God.
This is horse 106942.
420 69420. I see you. I see you. But, like, I guess your social security number. Because that's where... Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Just social security number 1. Like,
1,
the power that holds. How easy would it be to have your identity stolen, though? So 000000001. Yeah, but like, how easy is that to get your identity stolen? It's like having a social security number that's just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Like.
Yeah, I guess so. Look,
what would you even do if you stole King Arthur's social security numbers?
What was that?
What would you even do if you stole King Arthur's social security number? Do you just get to be king now?
I mean, I guess Sir Gawain would just chop your head off.
Well, that's the Green Knight and Sir Gawain are different. So I guess Gawain would chop your head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So he's got all those knights.
He's got a... Good God.
You got, you know, it's old-fashioned security.
Death?
Just a sword.
Jeez. Jesus. When I was very little, my mom told me she carried mace in her purse for defense, and the only mace I knew of was just a mace, and so I was convinced that she just kept a full-on proper mace in her purse for self-defense.
Do you know they keep one at Congress?
Do they really?
Yeah, it's been used.
Oh shit.
Yeah, when members of Congress got unruly.
They had a mace?
Yeah, they have a mace.
That's not a light punishment.
It's just a big stick.
Jesus.
It's a very decorative stick.
I guess, like, when I think of a mace, I think of a metal ball with spikes on it.
Oh,
like,
no. See, that's a different thing. A mace is just the metal ball part.
It's like isn't it like...
A mace is a stick with a metal ball in the end.
Yeah, with the metal ball with spikes on it. Yeah.
But there's no spikes for a mace. With the spikes is a whole different weapon.
I thought the spikes had...
It's a new classification.
Is it a new one?
Yeah, first they were like, here's a stick. Then they were like, what if we put a metal ball on that stick? And then they were like, that's a mace. And then they, put spikes on that, and they were like, that's a spiky mace.
Oh, okay. So it's like a different classification of a mace.
It's a whole different thing, yeah.
I have to check one thing really quick. Okay, if it has spikes on the end of it, it's a morning star. That's what okay.
I forgot the name for morning star, but that's it. Yeah.
It's a morning star, has the spikes on it. And then a flail. Or a ball and chain. Yeah. It's ball and chain. Because you can make a morning star flail, I think.
Yep, you can.
My search history is absolutely boned.
I really think you're into knights now.
Well, I have to look up a bunch of weapons for D&D anyway, but now it's like, hey, do you want to buy a mace? And I'm like, no.
You're going to be scrolling through Instagram, and it's going to be the fucking horse with its mouth open, and you can see the registration number.
No, I don't want to register my horse Instagram. Yo. We're calling, trying to reach you concerning the insurance you've recently placed on your horse, or your horse's extended warranty.
We're calling about your horse's extended warranty.
But would it be like old-timey? Like, would it have like that we're calling about your horse's ye old extended warranty with like 3 E's?
Very old extended warranty.
Your horse's extended warranty. What does extended warranty on a horse even look like?
Yeah, it's just a longer horse.
Good God. It's just a bigger horse.
Oh.
We haven't even gotten through this story.
Okay, yeah, let's continue with this story.
Let's continue with this story.
Sidetracked horse registration.
So sends his wife to seduce Gawain. It's a whole big thing.
Like we went through all the trials. Yeah, you asked him about it. Yeah. Okay.
So a New Year's Day rolls around, and Gawain goes to the Green Chapel to fight the Green Knight, and the Green Knight throws the fight. He feints 2 blows and then barely nicks Gawain on the 3rd, and then sort of reveals that he is Bertilic. And he says that Morgan Le Fay had given him this weird, cool double identity to test both Gawain and Arthur, to make sure that Arthur was picking good knights, and that Gawain was, like, a good person. Which is a bit weird, to basically turn a dude into Buff Shrek to test him.
Buff Shrek, yeah.
It's like a weird choice, but I'm not gonna tell the lady in the pond distributing weapons as a form of government how to live her life. Alright, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to curse on me, okay? I'm not fucking with that. So then we go on to the second story, which is the Green Knight, but green has an E on the end of it.
Greeny Knight.
The Greeny Knight.
The Greeny Knight.
The Greeny Knight. And so, in this story, the Green Knight is a different person, and he's not green-skinned, but he wears a green tunic. So his name is Breadbettle.
Excuse me?
His name is Breadbettle in this story.
Breadbettle?
Yes.
Okay.
I am not going to attempt to tell you why. Straight up, sometimes
he's pretty good at bettling bread?
It's not even spelled like B-R-E-A-D. It's just B-R-E-D, like bread. Like you breed an animal. Past tense. I I don't know. I called him Bread in my notes.
Cool.
Just for fun. Because
So we
it
got
gets
Wayne, Bert, and Bread.
Yes. And Morgan Le Fay, who gets her full name, because she's important. And Arthur, because he's the children's television cartoon aardvark, and whatever.
This is a zany cast you're putting together.
This is a wild story.
I'm imagining like Arthur from the titular series Arthur.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then Bert from Bert and Ernie.
Batman?
Wayne, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Just a loaf of bread.
And then we got Bread. Bread's just a normal guy, but they call him Bread.
It's like his frat name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is about how I tend to read stories like this if there's an extended universe where I just assign them each a weird character just to keep everybody straight.
Okay.
It actually does help with, like, reading older literature if the names are hard. Especially with medieval,
Well, they got a bunch of whack names.
They got some wild names in there, so I just name them after things I can sort of put images to. So
I am going to name my next pet Bread Bettle.
Good.
Because that's fantastic.
Good. I mean, he's a bit of a dick, but...
Well, it's fine. His name's Bread Bettle.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's allowed to be a dick if your parents named you Bread
He's
Bettle.
got a dope-ass name.
I mean... Yeah.
Are you disagreeing?
I'm not disagreeing, I'm just saying he's a bit of a dick.
Okay. Well... Let's get on with the story.
Because, okay, so here's another bit where I'm like, please stop sending your wives to seduce knights. So he has been asked by his wife's mother to trick Gawain. So, okay. Bread Bettle is married. Bread Bettle has a wife. We don't really get her name because this is medieval literature, so everybody's just referred to as so-and-so's wife. So.
Well, yeah, they were really focused on the dudes. For no particular reason.
It doesn't make any sense. Matrilineal makes more sense because, like, you can, like, the baby came out of that person and you can sort of
I'm
sort
just
that
saying
out.
The authors were really gay, Sid. that's...
Oh.
Yeah.
Also an option.
No particular reason. They just were really focused on the guys and their thigh muscles.
I mean, they were, though. There's a lot of mention of people's pecs, and it makes me a little uncomfy.
I mean, yep.
I mean...
It's your sword swinging muscle.
It is, though. It literally is.
It kind of just is, though, yeah.
It just is, though. So.
Bread Bettle's married.
Bread Bettle's married. Bread Bettle has a wife. Bread Bettle's wife's mother goes to Bread Bettle and says, hey, you should help me trick Gawain, because they don't want Gawain doing the shit that he's doing. They don't want him in Arthur's court or whatever. Political reasons makes more sense if you've read 8 billion other stories. Long story short, they don't like him. They want him out.
Yeah.
So he gets approached by his wife's mother and is like, hey, go trick Gawain. Gawain's wife Bread Bettle's wife is in love with Gawain, right? Okay. He knows this. Bread Bettle knows this. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to, like, trick both Gawain and my wife by, like, getting Gawain to break his oath of chastity and, like, catching my wife cheating. That's what he's hoping to do. So he manages to trick both of them and gets Gawain to accept a garter from his wife. I don't know what a garter is. I don't know what the significance of a garter is. But apparently it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like part of
90%
medieval underwear, undergarments.
Cause like I know there's a garter belt toss in older weddings. I think that's a thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, like, I vaguely know what it is. I don't know what it does or what purpose it serves. I'm 90% sure it's some type of, like, innuendo or allegory for something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
And so he gets Gawain to accept a garter from his wife, acknowledges Gawain's skill, and just asks to accompany him to Arthur's court. So basically, like, Gawain finesses a garter belt from this dude's wife, and then the guy is like, oh wow, you're so cool, I'll follow you now. And does that. And that's the entirety of the story, is just the shenanigans this dude goes through trying to trick Gawain. Thank you. And, like, him trying to catch his wife cheating. It's a whole shebang of a story.
Okay.
It is very funny because it does sort of read like medieval slapstick in a way.
Yeah.
Just because there's, like, it's like Shakespearean levels of drama, but with Marvel superheroes.
With just big dudes kicking the snot out of each other.
Straight up. I'm gonna look up what a garter belt is. We're doing this journey.
It just, like, holds up your, like, stockings. Just like a belt that holds up your stockings.
How do you keep your stockings up? Belt.
The belt.
Garter belt. Oh. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like, the significance of it is it's basically, like, it's, like, part of your undergarments, quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
You know? So it's like...
Stockings are just your socks, though.
Yeah.
Oh, but this was during the time period where, like, ankles were a thing that people thought were...
if you saw your ankle, it was, like...
Yeah, scandalous. It was, like, a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a whole deal.
At what point are we just gonna accept that someone in government had a foot fetish at one point, and now everybody had to be weird about their ankles and feet? At what point are we gonna accept that?
I don't know.
Like, we're all acknowledging that's a thing that probably was, right? We're doing that?
You know what? You can do whatever... sure. We try not to kink shame on this show.
We don't. I'm not. I'm just saying...
This is the first episode where it's had to come up twice.
What? We don't.
Kink shaming.
Absolutely not. No, do what you want to do, but I'm just saying, like... Nobody focuses that intensely on ankles unless there's something else going on. You know?
Look, it's just, you never saw anything else, so it's like, oh shit. You know?
I don't. But I'm gonna pretend that I do.
It's like, oh damn, you're naked under all your clothes, what the fuck?
That's how clothing works. That's how
clothing
clothing works.
I didn't like to think about it, Sid.
Well, obviously they did. There's lots of, like, armoring up scenes in this
to do it
that are,
through
like...
innuendo because that's classy.
It's not, though. You just get an entire generation of people whose only outlet is writing whatever this was.
I mean, call it like it is.
It's...
fan fiction.
It's fan fiction. It's just...
Yeah.
It literally is, though. Because the original King Arthur was a myth, and then all of these stories are just elaborations on side characters and making of new OCs in this larger mythos. It's the Marvel universe for medieval England. The Arthurverse.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
Arthurverse.
Patent pending.
Copyright pending.
Copyright pending?
Yeah, you can't.
Copyright pending. I can't patent a thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But, like... We could do an entire series on, like, the Arthurverse and the bullshit that they went through.
There's a lot of bullshit, yeah.
We could do episodes on Arthur himself, on Morgan Le Fay, on, like, every monster ever that they've fought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there would still be more. 'Cause, like, this is also the mythos in which the Fae play a large part. Which is a very, very specific and interesting sort of folklore concept.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the fact that, like, I've attended entire lectures on the Fae, and I still know nothing.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's...
Is this all our stories for the Green Knight?
I got one more, which is why I bring up the Fae. Which is in King Arthur and King Cornwall, the Green Knight again shows up as Breadbettle. and he's shown as one of Arthur's knights, so he has, like, entered in the court at this point. And he offers to help Arthur fight a mysterious sprite who's being controlled by King Cornwall, who's heavily implied to be a magician.
Hell yeah, magic.
Yeah. So the sprite has, like, gotten into King Arthur's chamber or something. And so Breadbettle attempts to physically fight it.
Nice.
Which doesn't go great, as it's magic, and that's kind of how punching magic works. It's not great. And so he uses a sacred text to subdue it, and then eventually gains so much, like, sway over this sprite that he convinces it to take a sword and decapitate King Cornwall.
Oh shit.
Which is shockingly brutal.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, yeah.
It's a night eat night world out there.
It sure is, dude. It sure is.
Okay, I see on your sheet here that there's something about color symbolism.
Yes.
Just break me off a little piece of that.
I'll break you off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Because it's like, it's green, right? Is it just nature?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned earlier that it's just nature.
Well, okay. So it is nature in a bit. So a lot of these stories are, like, types of allegories, I think. In the fact that the Green Knight is often used as, like, a nature, like, he comes from nature. That's always something that's very heavily emphasized with his character. Yeah. So it's used almost in a way where he's shown to be, like, a human personification of the environment.
Yeah.
And so Gawain is used to represent, like, human civilization. And so in them working together and fighting each other, it's seen as, like, man's either success over nature or, like, man's folly and then getting punished by nature. So he's often seen as, like, a sort of wild man in the fact that he's massive and just stacked, that he's, like, the sort of base
he comes from the woods
nature desires.
Yeah, he is, like, nature incarnate.
Yeah, which is also, I think, why a lot of the stories with him are so horny, just because in the fact that green was used as a nature color, it was also used as, like, a fertility color, because nature was seen to be very fruitful and things like that. So fertility, rebirth, things like that. So
yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to follow me through here.
Okay.
So.
All right.
He represents nature.
Okay.
It's proven that the Green Knight can shapeshift.
Well, he can just turn into other people.
Well, I mean, it's two different bodies, like separate entities in form, so it's shapeshifting. There's the nature theme.
Okay.
Comes from the woods.
It's
possible.
If you
could be a bird.
God damn it! I will drive to Vermont. Martin, I will drive to Vermont and I will kick your ass. There is a specific note, a footnote in my notes that say, if you look me in my eyes and tell me this dude's a bird, it's blood on sight. It's blood on sight. Blood on sight. I'm not having this slander. I did not do 15 to 20 hours of research on this dude for you to come in here and tell me he's a fucking bird.
Look.
My neighbors hate me. I'm so sorry.
He's nature incarnate.
He's not a bird. There's
the freedom
no
of nature is often also represented by birds.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. I've peeked my microphone. I'm so sorry. No. No. No, I'm not doing this. I am tired of bird theory coming into my home and assaulting me and my good research. We're fighting now. I've decided. We're fighting now.
Oh.
We are going to have an episode I don't know when we're gonna do it. I don't care when we do it, but we're doing it. In which I'm gonna fight you on bird theory. I am gonna bring my research, and we're fighting over bird theory. I can't do this.
Next time, like, as soon as we're in like the same state, we'll do a stream of just actual fight about bird theory.
We'll do an actual proper.
We'll do a live
bird
debate.
Theory.
Live debate on stream.
Straight up, if y'all would watch that, let us know.
Oh.
I'll fight.
Look, I'm just saying, Sid.
I'm lightheaded.
Can't rule it out.
I'm lightheaded. That is the loudest I've ever yelled.
I mean, look. If everything that's written about him is fan fiction, this is just my little piece I'm adding to the Arthurian canon.
If you write Green Knight is a bird fan fiction, I will consider.
Okay.
I will consider.
Do I have to write it in Old English?
Yes.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
All right.
Give me like 2 years.
I say this knowing full well that I yeeted into my school's folklore archives to find this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old English sucks, dude. A lot. I am lightheaded. I am lightheaded from my outburst.
I think that about wraps us up on the Green Knight then.
He's not a bird. He's not a bird.
He could be. He could be.
He's not a bird. He's closer to
Rule
broccoli.
it out. Can't rule it out.
Oh.
Some birds are green. Look at
What
parakeets.
Parakeets
Parrots?
are tiny.
Parrots? Look, he can shapeshift. It doesn't matter what size the bird is.
He'd be closer to a changeling than a shapeshifter. They can only do humans.
Nah, I mean, you know, it's mystical powers given to him by Morgan Le Fay, so, like, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Alright.
Could be a bird, Sid.
Could be a bird.
Maybe the knights were the birds we met along the way.
Maybe the real knights are the birds we met along the way. Oh. Well, I guess we're going into the Arthurverse again if we've established that this is where we are.
Alright. I think that's the end of the episode. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our flirtation into the Arthurian folklore. If you want more content from us, where could you find it, Sid?
It's not a fucking bird. You can follow our Twitter if you want to hear about our episodes before we...
Twitter's a bird.
God, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Fuck.
Twitter's a bird. You can follow our Twitter. If you want to hear about the episodes before we actually post them, you can follow our Twitter at @oncryptids on twitter.com. We post images as we're recording, so you can sort of get a sneak preview into future episodes. What's actually the tweet for this week? Do you know?
Man, I don't know.
You should just post a picture of a parrot with no other context. I feel like that'd be funny.
Yeah? They won't know which scripted we're covering.
Exactly. We'll post pictures on the Twitter when we're recording, so if you want to sort of be updated on that and interact with us, Twitter's a good spot to do that. If you want to see us live, where can they do that, Marty?
Well, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. We have our stream. We stream live every Friday from what time?
From 5:30 to 8 on every Friday.
Every Friday.
Yes.
So come out and join us. It'll be a blast. So yeah, join us every Friday from 5:30 to 8 at the Midcast. That is TheMydCast. The Midcast on Twitch.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time,
we'll see y'all in the woods.